Welcome to StopFake, the place where we identify fakes and debunk them to set the record straight on disinformation about Ukraine. I'm Marko Suprun with this week's stories. Ukraine's foreign minister wants to root out Russian passport holders. The EU warns Ukraine against militarization of Azov Sea. And a Finnish court smacks 3 pro-Kremlin trolls with a hefty fine for harassing and slandering a journalist investigating Russia's internet troll army. Let's get to it. All Ukrainian citizens who also have Russian passports will be rooted out. Stories with such headlines were featured in scores of pro-Kremlin media on October 30th, from Ukraina.ru to NTV and others, citing Ukrainian Foreign Minister Pavlo Klimkin, who allegedly said, "Let those who have Russian passports surrender them, otherwise we will root them out." Russia's foreign ministry spokeswoman, the acerbic Maria Zakharova, added her 2 cents worth to this fake story by accusing Ukraine of discrimination. She called the alleged future hunt for Russian passport holders a blatant violation of the rights of Ukrainian residents on the basis of ethnic origin. Russian media have distorted the subject of dual citizenship many times, with scare stories claiming that Russian passport holders would be singled out and punished by the authorities. This time, the claims are completely false because Minister Klimkin never said what NTV and others claim he said. On October 30th, Klimkin delivered an address in Lviv at a security forum during which he touched on the topic of Hungarian passports being issued to Ukrainian citizens. He said the issue of dual citizenship should be discussed and that holders of dual citizenship should not hold leadership positions in the civil service and the military. Quote, "We cannot talk about dual citizenship with Russia at a time when we are at war with Russia. Those who have Russian citizenship should surrender it. All others are up for discussion. Dual citizenship can be had only under very clear conditions," the foreign minister said. Klimkin never said that Russian passport holders would be rooted out. This story is another manipulation by Russia's propaganda machine, with the foreign ministry playing second fiddle for good measure. The pro-Kremlin internet publication Ukraina.ru declared that the European Union is speaking out against Ukraine's military buildup in the Azov Sea on October 23rd. The EU expressed dissatisfaction with the growing number of Ukrainian military vessels in the sea and even warned Ukraine against increasing its military presence there, Ukraina.ru claimed. Other pro-Kremlin media carried the same story, albeit with less accusatory headlines, and all of them cited Federica Mogherini, the High Representative of the EU for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, as the source. Mogherini, however, did not criticize Ukraine at all. On the contrary, it is Russia that she criticized. Now, on October 23rd, Mogherini delivered a speech to the European Parliament on the situation in the Azov Sea, in which she stated that the EU, quote, "did not want to witness yet another military buildup in our immediate region." Russian media manipulated Mogherini's address. They claimed she spoke about a Ukrainian military presence in the area, when in fact she spoke about the Russian fleet, which is destabilizing the region by its heavy-handed tactics in the Black and Azov Seas. Other European politicians also spoke out against Russia's aggressive moves in the Black and Azov Seas. Member of the European Parliament from Poland, Anna Fotyga, spoke out against Russia's restrictions on the movement of ships in other regions, particularly the Baltic Sea, and urged NATO to continue its support for Ukraine. NATO responded to the EU's call, and during his October 24 press conference, NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg said that the alliance condemned Russia's militarization of the Azov waters and, quote, "expresses full support for Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity, including freedom of navigation." A day after the NATO statement, the European Parliament adopted a resolution calling for the strengthening of sanctions against Russia because of its destabilizing actions in the Azov Sea. The EU also called for expanding the scope of the OSCE mission in Ukraine in the field of maritime transport. Contrary to Russian media claims, there were no warnings or accusations of militarizing the seas towards Ukraine issued by the European Union. And finally, some good news about defeating lying and malicious internet trolls. Last month, a court in Finland convicted 3 pro-Kremlin trolls of defamation and ordered them to pay 136,000 euros in damages for harassing and slandering Jessica Aro, a Finnish journalist investigating Russia's internet troll army. The trolls were also handed prison sentences. This October 18th verdict by the Helsinki District Court is seen as a major victory against online disinformation and hate speech. Finland is the first European country to take action against pro-Russian disinformation spread through social media, websites, and news outlets controlled by or linked to Russia. Reporters Without Borders welcomed the decision, saying it sent a clear message to those who harass journalists online. Now, Aro was subjected to a deluge of false accusations online. She was accused of being an American spy, a drug dealer, and a crazy Russia-hating blonde after she began reporting in 2014 on Russian disinformation and propaganda being spread in Finland and on social media. The smear campaign against her grew even more vicious after she interviewed workers at a St. Petersburg troll factory. The trolls are Ilya Yanitskin, a Finn of Russian descent who ran an abusive right-wing website that regularly denigrates Russia's critics, Jews, immigrants, and the EU. The other troll is Johan Bachman, an outspoken fan and defender of Russia's President Vladimir Putin, who spends much of his time in Russia. The third troll is a woman who worked on Yanitskin's website. All three said they would appeal the sentence. Jessica Aro won Finland's Grand Prize for Journalism in 2016. That's it for this week. You can find more dissected disinformation on our website, StopFake.org. As always, be vigilant and don't consume fakes. And if you spot any disinformation about Ukraine, send it to us for a truth autopsy. I'm Marko Suprun, and this is StopFake. Thanks for watching.